Good evening. The Scottish Government is developing a digital system to replace paper COVID vaccination certificates. It's understood a £600,000 contract has been awarded to a Danish firm to develop a vaccine passport similar to those already in use in other parts of the UK. Brandon Cook reports.
An efficient, secure and scalable solution. The words of Net Company, the Danish IT firm tasked with making something similar to this, a digital COVID passport to show test results and vaccination status. In England, a similar app is already needed for access to big events like music festivals, but the Scottish Government have said today that the current priority here is to include vaccination data to be used for international travel.
It's a little bit of positive news. It's something that I think should have happened from the start. If you look at what's going on in England and other parts of Europe, they've been using these digital passports for a few months now. So it has been quite clunky for the Scottish people to have to get the certificates, and then the confusion over originally you could download it and then you had to apply and put it by post, and then it's got to be within 14 days. So it will make it a lot easier for people.
In the meantime, the effort to jag younger people continues. Pop-up vaccination clinics like this one at Aberdeen University are proving key.
Obviously, a lot of people have been able to go out and about recently, which has kind of driven the need for people to go into isolation. So it's really important that we're doing as much local community clinics as possible so that there's more access for people to get vaccinated.
But today is one many across the country have been waiting for. From Dingwall to Dundee to Glasgow, where 23,000 fans were back at Ibrox as the Scottish football season kicked off. That's around 50% capacity, but supporters were still clearly glad to be back.
It's the longest we've ever been away from the place, so great.
It's been a year and a half, hasn't it? It's been a big wait.
Yeah, it's been a really long time, and I just can't wait to get back to the game.
The SPFL say they're hoping for more information from the Scottish Government in the coming week on when even more fans can walk through the turnstiles. Brandon Cook, STV News.
An 18-year-old man has been left with life-changing injuries after a car flipped and caught fire near Aberdeen. The incident happened on the A93 near Peter Cooter at around 20 to 1 this morning. A 27-year-old man was also taken to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary with serious injuries, while a 19-year-old was treated for minor wounds. Police are appealing for witnesses. The funeral of a mother and son who died in Loch Lomond last weekend has taken place in Glasgow. 29-year-old Adina Olahova drowned while trying to rescue her 9-year-old son Rana in Ardlui on Saturday evening. 7 people died after getting into difficulty in Scottish waters last weekend. The RNLI have issued a fresh warning to swimmers.
Nobody should have to go through what the families have gone through that have lost loved ones last weekend. The safety messages are out there. Do your research. It's all about understanding risk and making sure that you've done everything you possibly can to negate that risk.
Hundreds of campaigners have taken to the streets of Glasgow, calling for the reopening of libraries, sports centres and community halls. 80 venues throughout the city remain closed, putting 500 jobs at risk. Operator Glasgow Live say their ability to open more venues is entirely dependent on increased funding.
We want Susan Aiken and Glasgow City Council to listen to us. We have over 4,000 people who are part of the campaign now who signed up. 50,000 people have signed a petition to keep the People's Palace open. And for us, the community centres in these buildings are just as important as the NHS and social work in keeping our communities cohesive.
The M8 will close this evening as a new footbridge is installed across the motorway in Glasgow. The 2,420-tonne structure will provide a link between the new Sight Hill development and the city centre. The road will shut entirely from 9 p.m. until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. To sport, and the new Scottish Premiership season is underway with Rangers kicking off their defence of the title with a 3-0 win over Livingston. Goals from Yanis Hadji, Scott Wright and Kemar Roof all helped Stephen Gerrard's side get off to the perfect start in front of 23,000 fans at Ibrox. Meanwhile, in the day's other matches, 10-men Dundee were held to a 2-2 draw against St Mirren at home, and it finished 0-0 between Ross County and St Johnstone. Hearts will host Celtic this evening. Kick-off is at 8 o'clock. Right, to the Olympics, and there was more success for Scotland as Kathleen Dawson won her first gold medal in the 4x100 metres mixed medley final. The Kirkcaldy swimmer became the first Scottish female in almost 70 years to win gold in the pool as she helped Team GB secure a world record time. And there were more successes too, this time on the track. Gemma Reekie is through to the final of the 800 metres. She finished second in her heat. Well, meanwhile, to rugby, and the British and Irish Lions are losing to South Africa in their second test match. 3 penalties from Dan Biggar put the Lions in the lead, but a second half try from South Africa have put them 11-9 into the lead. And finally tonight, a Norwegian tall ship got a warm welcome into Lerwick Harbour yesterday evening before it set off this afternoon on a 2-year voyage around the world. The Statsrad Lemkul will travel 55,000 nautical miles and visit 36 different ports as part of a UN ocean sustainability project. Looks like something out of a film, doesn't it? Well, that's it from us this evening. We're back tomorrow at 6:05. Join us then if you can. Bye-bye.